Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Matt Tebow with Stacked, and I am joined by TSM mid laner PowerOfEvil coming off their game against Cloud9. How are you doing, man?
Obviously not great. We just lost. It was a rough loss as well, but still the start of the season. Need to keep our heads high. We have another game tomorrow, and we just need to review the game, prepare for tomorrow, and get better.
Of course. So speaking of this game, I want you to walk me through it. It seemed like you and Perks had a pretty volatile mid lane matchup, and you picked up the Corki, which I think saw its first play in the LCS with your pick. Walk me through particularly why you brought Corki into the fold this time. Like, is he an Azir counter? Does he provide good mobility? Any other thing he provides for his team? As well as how you think your team played throughout the game.
Arthur is just a really strong mid laner currently, and not many mid laner champions can hold their own against it. And Kok is not one of the champions that can stay even and have a lot of relevance in the mid game with his poke and with his package, and he can just provide a lot of damage. And most if the game is really stable, he can negate a lot of the Aussie damage since he can poke him out before the fight. Um, that was not really the case in our game. We got snowballed on really hard early game, and their tanks were just really tanky. The Udyr was kind of just running me down, and the Azir was just pulling out the damage numbers from the backline. So there was not really much we could do. I think our early game was just too bad, and we just lost too fast. And we just kept trying to fight because that's the only way how you can come back into the game. And just waiting and stalling is not really going to change anything because their late game is pretty good too. So we needed to win the early game. We didn't win the early game, so yeah, it was just sadly a fast loss.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about your walk-in. This is the first time I've gotten Stacked has gotten a chance to talk to anybody on TSM throughout walk-in and now. So I'm curious, what was the walk-in experience like for you guys, and does it feel any different than going into LCS?
The Lockin tournament was pretty nice. I think we got a lot of experience playing on stage and kind of getting to know each other, seeing how everyone wants to play, and kind of seeing what our strengths and weaknesses are as a team. I think we're still trying to figure everything out. We're still trying to find our style, since we're still a relatively new team. Obviously, we don't have too much time left. We need to, kind of ramp it up now and decide in the next couple of weeks. But I feel like we're getting better as a team, and we just need to, keep getting better from day to day.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I want to ask you about is TSM team culture. So, the TSM core was relatively stable for quite a few years up until Bjergsen retires, Doublelift retires. Obviously, Bjergsen's still the coach, but they're bringing in you as the mid laner, Spica, who's relatively new as the jungler. They're bringing Sword Art in from across the world, essentially. What's the team culture like, and what's it like to play under Bjergsen?
Um, as the team culture is pretty good. We are practicing a lot. We're practicing very hard. Everyone's really motivated and passionate about winning, and I feel like we don't take these losses lightly. So everyone is kind of trying to give their best, not only for themselves but for the team too. And working under Bjergsen, I think it's going pretty good. He's just a good coach since he was a player before, and I think as a player you have more insight if you coach since you played at that high level and you know the macro decisions and the micro seconds that can completely change a situation. So I think he's providing a lot of good points for the team and for us to learn.
Of course. And another thing I want to talk about, a lot of people have been very critical of TSM's performance, given that a lot of people, of course, were predicting that you guys were going to be a top team right off the bat, just crushing everybody who gets in your way, all that stuff. Do TSM fans have a right to be skeptical with kind of less than expected performances through the lock-in and starting out in LCS? Or do you think people are just over concerned, I guess, blowing it out of proportion?
I definitely think that. So I think one, I can understand TSM fans. I have high expectations since the organization was always on the top. They won so many splits, so I think we need to be on the top. In that regard, we need to be a top team. We need to perform. We need to do our best, and I think we have the ability to do that. On the other side, you need to understand as well that we are five new players playing together, and I think we yeah, it just didn't click fully yet, right? And in my past teams, in my past, like situations, it's just like that one moment when you just know exactly how your teammates wanna play the game and how you wanna play the game, and that's when you kind of like start smurfing and you start, playing really, really good. And I think we're still kind of at that point, like right before where we're still trying to like find our footing. And obviously, that's not an excuse. I think we just need to, make that happen and win the next couple of games.
Of course. And I just have one more question for you. So this is also a bit kind of off the topic related to the past game now, but there's been some stuff floating around. Travis Gafford broke the news that apparently some owners are talking to Riot about possibly lifting the import rule. I just wanted to get your input on that. Should the import rule stay as it is, or do you think that getting rid of it? What do you think that would? What do you think are the pros and cons of that, as well as your general thoughts on it?
Honestly, I have no idea. I can't really answer that because I didn't really spend a single thought on that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would assume like I don't think it would really change a lot for the players. I think it would be more for the owners, the organizations. I think that would change a lot for them. And the only thing that I could say that would maybe change for the players is that it would be more competitive to get a spot as a North American player, possibly, since now you're not competing only against North American spots for the free slots, but you're competing for the whole world, right?
Of course. Once again, this is TSM mid laner PowerOfEvil taking the time to talk to me. Once again, also, this is Matt Tebow from Stacked. You can find us online at stacked.gg, and you can follow us on our socials at StackedLOL. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, and good luck in the rest of the weekend.
Bye bye.